Can you say something about what constraints you think churches and their leaders are working with right now that are most impacting their ministries and to their neighbors and neighborhoods?
Yeah, I think some of it is about around the question of relevance, because everything in media and in even haphazard coffee shop conversation points to the irrelevance of organized religion. So I think the question of relevance is there. I think the concerns about survival, how do we survive, and that how do we continue to be the congregation we've always been at this location? Or how can we live back into who we used to be in yesteryear? I think those are constraints that local churches are dealing with. And then, people die, people move, people gather differently now. Just the way the world works doesn't really call for us to gather at the same place at the same time and do the same thing every 7 days like clockwork. I think the pandemic helped us to see that in a new and, I will say, helpful way. Um, some will take issue with whether or not that was helpful, but I think it was helpful because it forces us to deal with it. I think that's there. And the sense of what do we do, back to the relevance piece of what do we do to connect with, we say young people, we say young families, but I think what we mean is just anybody who will keep us alive and help us to believe that we are okay. And I think that's a constraint, right? Because it doesn't allow us to imagine that another group of people might find life in this place. It doesn't help us imagine that someone other than us, right? Not just people who are different from us, but someone other than us could find life in this place, or that this address could house something other than what we have placed here on this corner for the last 118 years.